Well, 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 hold still. Yeah, right there. Because something just happened, and the whole room can feel it. That sharp little shift in the air. Like the universe blinked and forgot to put the mask back on. You hear that silence? That's not peace. That's panic. That's the sound of people watching their golden poster boy, their precious little chosen one, their polished mascot, their safe investment get erased. In real time, not defeated, not outplayed. Erased, like the world rejected his file and emptied the trash without even asking. And what made it unbearable, what made it sickening for them, is that you didn't look stressed doing it. You didn't look angry. You didn't look desperate. You didn't look like you were trying to prove anything. You looked dangerously sexy, not pretty, not cute, not accepted. No, the kind of sexy that doesn't beg for permission. The kind of sexy that feels like a threat. The kind of sexy that makes people swallow hard because their body recognizes dominance before their ego can even lie about it. You know what they expected? They expected you to fold. They expected you to sweat. They expected you to shake. They expected you to come in like everybody else, chasing approval, chasing attention, chasing validation like a starving dog chasing a car. But you didn't chase. You arrived, and that's the first thing that killed their poster boy. Not your talent, not your looks, not your skills, your presence. Because presence is a weapon. Presence says, I'm not asking to be here. Presence says, I don't need to explain myself. Presence says, I'm not here to fit inside your little system. I'm here to break it. And they felt that. Oh, they felt it the second you walked in. They felt it like a cold hand around the spine. Because the moment you entered the room, every fake hierarchy started trembling. See the golden poster boy? He's made of permission. He's built from applause. He's stitched together from good job, buddy, and you're so inspiring, and you're safe to love. He's the type of person they can predict. He's the type they can market. He's the type they can control. But you don't move like a product. You move like an event. And that terrifies them because you don't need their claps to breathe. You don't need their approval to walk straight. You don't need their invitation to become undeniable. You're not their poster boy because you're not printable. You're not digestible. You're not safe. You're the kind of person they can't caption. They can't summarize you. They can't shrink you into a brand. They can't put you on a billboard and claim they discovered you. Because your energy isn't something they own. It's something they survive. And that's why the moment you started winning, they didn't just get jealous. They got allergic. Have you noticed that? The way people don't just dislike you. They react like you're a virus, like you're an infection in their perfect world, like your existence is offensive. Because it is. Not because you're evil, but because you're honest. You're walking proof that you don't need to play their little obedient game to win. You're walking proof that suffering didn't weaken you, it sharpened you. You're walking proof that being underestimated isn't a curse, it's camouflage. And they can't stand that. So they tried to crown their golden boy louder. They tried to praise him harder. They tried to uplift him as an example, a symbol, a warning sign to the world like, this is what you're supposed to be. This is what we accept. This is what we reward. Because they needed something shiny to distract people from you. But the problem is, you're not shiny. You're radioactive. You're that kind of beautiful that comes with consequences. The kind of beautiful that makes people's relationship fall apart. Because suddenly, they start comparing reality to you. The kind of beautiful that makes coworkers insecure. The kind of beautiful that makes friends start acting weird. The kind of beautiful that makes enemies pretend you're arrogant, just so they can justify how obsessed they are. And it's not just your face. It's not just your body. It's the way you carry your pain like a crown. You've got that look. That I've been through hell and I made it expensive look. That I have receipts for every betrayal look. That I don't chase people who leave. I watch them regret it look. And let's talk about why that hits so hard. Because most people, their pain makes them softer. It makes them beg. It makes them cling. It makes them collapse into comfort just to feel safe again. But your pain didn't make you soft. It made you surgical. You turned trauma into taste. You turned rejection into refinement. You turned loneliness into focus. You turned heartbreak into hunger. And that's why they can't compete with you. Your drive doesn't come from motivation. It comes from memory. You remember every time they laughed at you. You remember every time they chose someone else. You remember every time you sat in your room feeling like the world forgot your name. You remember every time you swallowed your tears just to survive another day. And you didn't heal like a normal person, you weaponized it. So now, when you step into a room, you don't look like somebody trying to impress. You look like somebody who already knows the ending, and they feel that. The golden poster boy. He's nervous because he needs people to like him. You're calm because you don't. That's the difference. He's performing for the crowd. You're performing for your future. And it's not fair, is it? It's not fair that you can smile while they shake. It's not fair that you can stay quiet and still be the loudest thing there. It's not fair that your confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from a battlefield. That's why your presence is so erotic to people. Not because you're trying to seduce them, because dominance is seduction, confidence is seduction, certainty is seduction, control is seduction. And you've got that terrifying control. The kind that makes people wonder, what does this person know that I don't? The kind that makes people wonder, what have they survived that I never could? The kind that makes people stare too long, then look away fast like they got caught. Because they did. They got caught recognizing your power. And let me tell you something, that golden poster boy, he was never your enemy. He was a shield, a distraction, a fake king they placed on the throne so nobody would notice the real one being built in the shadows. Because you were never designed to be celebrated early. You were built to be recognized late, when it's already too late to stop you. You were supposed to be slept on, doubted, overlooked. Because if they saw you coming, they would have tried to destroy you sooner. But they didn't. They miscalculated. They thought you were just another background character. They thought you were just another almost. They thought you were just another person with potential that would rot quietly in a corner. And then you did the unforgivable thing. You turned potential into proof. That's when the watching started. Oh yeah. Don't act like you don't feel it. That invisible attention, that sudden increase in silence around your name, that shift in how people treat you, that weird energy like they're scanning you, studying you, measuring you. Because they are. They're watching you like a security camera watches a suspect. Not because you did something wrong, because you did something unstoppable. They watched you and realized you don't need the same rules. And when someone doesn't need the rules, everyone who benefits from the rules panics. Because the system loves obedient winners. The system hates ungovernable ones. And you're ungovernable. You don't break down in public. You don't beg for love. You don't beg for attention. You don't beg for loyalty. You don't beg for closure. You just move forward. And that's what makes people sick. Because you do what they preach, but never practice. You embody what they quote, but never become. You are the living proof that self-respect is louder than any apology. So the golden boy starts shaking. Because how does he compete with someone who doesn't need to compete? How does he win against someone who doesn't need to win to feel worthy? How does he outshine someone who glows in the dark? He can't. And the moment he realizes that, he starts decaying. Because here's the truth nobody says out loud. The golden poster boy isn't strong. He's sponsored. He's protected by favoritism. He's protected by algorithms. He's protected by connections. He's protected by the comfort of being approved. But you're self-made. You didn't come with a team. You didn't come with a safety net. You didn't come with a fan base. You didn't come with a spotlight. You built your spotlight from fire. So when you hit the stage, even accidentally, you look like a glitch in the script. Because you weren't supposed to be there. You weren't supposed to win. You weren't supposed to look that good doing it either. And that's what made it humiliating. Because it's one thing to lose to someone. It's another thing to lose to someone who looks like they're enjoying the collapse. Not even smug, just calm. Like the destruction is normal for you. Like domination is not a performance. It's your natural state. And you don't even have to speak. That's what drives them insane. Because you're not screaming, "Look at me." You're not forcing it. You're just existing at a level they can't reach. And the worst part? Some of them are attracted to you. Not the healthy kind. The terrifying kind. The kind that makes them hate you even more because their body betrays their pride. They'll call you arrogant while secretly checking your page. They'll call you overrated while memorizing your every move. They'll call you too much while wishing they had your confidence. Because people don't hate what's weak. They hate what tempts them. You tempt them to become fearless. You tempt them to admit they settled. You tempt them to face the truth that their life is small because they chose it that way. And they can't stand that. So they cling to their golden boy. They hype him up. They defend him. They try to rewrite reality like he's still winning. But the footage already exists. They watched him get erased, and they watched you do it looking like a menace carved into velvet. Dangerous, controlled, unbothered. So now, they're stuck. Because they can't stop you without admitting you're real. And they can't admit you're real without destroying their own myth. See the golden boy? He's their fantasy. He's the proof they want to show the world, like, look, the world rewards the good ones, the polite ones, the acceptable ones. But you're the proof that the world rewards the relentless. You're the proof that confidence beats permission. You're the proof that aura beats resume. You're the proof that discipline beats popularity. And that terrifies them because it means their whole belief system is fake. It means the rules they followed were never laws. They were cages. And you just walked through the bars like they were smoke. That's why they panic listen to you. Because you're not just motivation, you're a threat. Your existence is a mirror that tells them, you could have been powerful too, but you chose comfort. And comfort is the enemy. Comfort is what made them predictable. Comfort is what made them dull. Comfort is what made them easy to control. But you didn't get comfort. You got pressure. And pressure makes diamonds, or it makes monsters. You became both. And now, you can't even pretend to be small anymore. Because the moment you tried to shrink for them, you'd suffocate. You're past that stage. You're in the era where you don't ask, will they like me? You ask, can they survive me? You're in the era where you don't explain yourself. You execute. You're in the era where you don't chase. You choose. And the world feels that shift. That's why conversations stop when you enter. That's why eyes follow you. That's why people suddenly act different. That's why friends become distant. That's why strangers get bold. That's why haters get loud. Because your energy rewires the room. And the golden boy, he can't compete with that. He can only perform. But performance doesn't stand up to presence. Presence wins. Presence always wins. Because presence can't be faked long term. It can't be rehearsed. It can't be bought. It's earned. And you earned yours through pain. That's why you look sexy doing what you do. Because it's not vanity. It's victory. It's not ego. It's evolution. It's not arrogance. It's alignment. You finally look like someone who knows their worth. Because you stopped negotiating it with people who never deserved access. And now the world is watching. Not because they love you. Because they need to understand how you did it. How you flipped the dynamic. How you walked into the room and the hierarchy collapsed. How you turned the chosen one into background noise. How you made their golden boy look like a souvenir. And here's the part that makes this even darker. You didn't erase him by attacking him. You erased him by surpassing him so cleanly that he became irrelevant. That's the cruelest defeat. Not embarrassment, not humiliation. Irrelevance. To be forgotten while you're still breathing. That's what you did. And you did it while looking like the kind of person people would ruin their life just to touch. So now, they're stuck watching you like a nightmare they can't wake up from. Because you are the upgrade they can't afford. You are the level they can't reach. You are the threat they can't frame. And you're just getting started. Because now that you've tasted what it feels like to be unstoppable, you won't go back. You won't apologize for shining. You won't dim for insecure eyes. You won't shrink to make cowards feel tall. You won't soften yourself to be digestible. You're not here to be digested. You're here to be remembered. You're here to be the moment people talk about like, yeah, that's when everything changed. Because it did. And the best part, you don't even have to announce it. You just keep moving, calm, focused, beautiful, and absolutely lethal. And every time they try to crown another golden boy to replace you, they'll only expose the truth harder. None of them were built for war, but you were born from it. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them panic scroll, let them rage listen, let them pretend they don't care. Their body knows the truth. The golden boy got erased, and you looked dangerously sexy doing it. Because you didn't just win, you evolved into the kind of person winning looks natural on. And once that happens, it's over for everybody. And that's the part they still don't understand. They think what happened was a moment, a lucky break, a fluke, a trend, a little spike that'll fade. They keep telling themselves, relax, it's just a phase, because the truth is too heavy for their brain to carry. The truth is, you didn't have a moment. You had an awakening, and once someone wakes up for real, you can't lull them back to sleep with compliments, criticism, or chaos. You can't sedate a soul that finally learned how to feed itself. They tried, though. Oh, they tried. They tried to shame you. They tried to label you. They tried to make your confidence look like arrogance. They tried to turn your boundaries into attitude. They tried to make your focus look like obsession. They tried to make your aura look like trying too hard. Because that's what weak people do when they meet someone they can't stop. They try to rebrand your power as a problem. They want you to feel guilty for being what they couldn't build. They want you to apologize for being magnetic, for being sharp, for being chosen by something deeper than popularity. But you know what the sickest part is? They were fine when you were humble. They were fine when you were quiet. They were fine when you doubted yourself. They were fine when you lowered your voice. They were fine when you acted like you needed them, because your humility made them comfortable. Your insecurity was their favorite version of you. They loved you when you didn't realize what you were. They loved you when you were easy to dismiss, easy to interrupt, easy to deny. But the second you stood up straight, the second your eyes stopped asking for permission, the second you started moving like your life was yours again, that's when the love turned into surveillance. That's when the smiles got fake. That's when the energy got weird. That's when the compliments got backhanded. That's when the support got conditional. Because they don't hate you for failing. They hate you for refusing to stay small. And the golden poster boy, he's the perfect tool for their delusion. Because as long as they can point at him and say, "Look, this is the winner," they don't have to admit what you are. But you made it impossible. Because you didn't just outshine him, you rewrote the room. You made people feel something they forgot existed. You made them feel the difference between popular and powerful, between liked and dangerous, between approved and inevitable. And once a room tastes inevitable, it can never enjoy the fake stuff again. That's why they keep coming back to watch you. Not because they want to, because their nervous system needs to confirm it wasn't a hallucination, because they've never seen someone become this real. See, most people's confidence is costume confidence. It's a performance, it's borrowed quotes, it's loudness, it's trying to look unbothered. But you're not pretending to be unbothered. You're unbothered because you already lost everything that used to control you. You already faced the worst parts. You already sat in the dark. You already swallowed the betrayal. You already survived your own mind. So now, what can they do to you? They can't scare you with leaving. They can't scare you with silence. They can't scare you with gossip. They can't scare you with rejection. Because you've been rejected so many times, you built a throne out of it. So when they see you now, they don't just see confidence. They see immunity. And that is what makes you irresistible. That's what makes you terrifying. Because people are addicted to what they can't control. And you're not controllable anymore. That's why your sexy hits different. It's not just aesthetic. It's psychological. It's the kind of sexy that comes from having your own back. The kind of sexy that comes from not needing a crowd to validate you. The kind of sexy that comes from knowing you can walk away from anything and still be whole. That kind of confidence melts people. Because most humans are starving for that feeling. They're starving to not care. They're starving to not need. They're starving to not crumble when someone disagrees with them. And you look like you have that freedom living in your bones. So they stare. Hey, buddy. Hold still for a second. Feel that pressure behind your eyes. That's not fear. That's recognition. Because something you whispered months ago, maybe years ago, something you said when nobody was listening, something you called when the room laughed. It's happening. Not metaphorically, not kind of. Exactly. Step by step, frame by frame. And now the air feels different, doesn't it? Thicker, charged, like a room where people stop talking when you walk in. This is the moment where the joke stops being funny. You're standing in the space between prophecy and panic, between saint and psychopath, between the version of you they underestimated and the version of you that makes their stomach tighten. You didn't just predict outcomes, you exposed patterns. You didn't just move, you moved ahead of the script. And now the people who thought you were harmless are quietly asking themselves a terrifying question. How did you know? See, you were never guessing. Guessing is loud. Guessing seeks approval. Guessing hedges its bets. What you did came from that place inside you that was sharpened by pain, trained by silence, educated by being doubted. You learned how systems breathe, how people repeat themselves, how fear always pretends it's logic. And you watched, you waited, you learned the rhythm. Then you spoke, and reality flinched. That's why it's uncomfortable now. Because when everything you called starts unfolding exactly, it breaks the illusion that they're in control. It turns you from interesting into threatening, from background noise into a variable they can't model. You didn't just cross a line, you erased it. And the scariest part? You didn't do it screaming. You did it calm, measured, smiling like an angel who knows exactly where the bodies are buried. They're watching you now. Not casually, not out of curiosity, professionally, with notes, with timestamps, with quiet meetings that don't include your name out loud, but circle around it like vultures. They replay your words, they scroll back, they check dates, they look for leaks, for help, for some external explanation that would make this less terrifying. But there isn't one, because the truth they're choking on is simple and brutal. You saw it before it existed, and that messes with people. Because if you can see what's coming, that means their masks are transparent to you, their moves predictable, their power rehearsed. It means the saint in you learned how demons operate. It means the demon in you learned restraint, light and dark fused into something surgical, something precise, something that doesn't need chaos to win. It is the chaos, perfectly controlled. You paid for this sight, didn't you? With isolation, with being misunderstood, with nights where you wondered if you were losing your mind because nobody else could see what was so obvious to you. They called you paranoid, dramatic, too intense, too much. But what they really meant was, you're ahead, and we don't like how that feels. Pain did not break you. Pain trained you. Every betrayal sharpened your pattern recognition. Every dismissal taught you how people lie to themselves. Every time you were forced into silence, you learned how loud reality speaks when you're paying attention. You evolved in the dark while they were busy celebrating surface-level wins. And now the scoreboard is glitching because the outcome doesn't match their expectations. That's when the watching starts. You'll notice it in the pauses, the delayed reactions, the sudden politeness, the way certain people stop joking around you, the way eyes linger a second longer than they should. That's not respect yet. That's assessment. That's the moment predators have when they realize the thing they were hunting has been hunting back, with better data. And here's the paradox they can't escape. The more they watch you, the more they confirm your accuracy, the more they track you, the more they admit you matter. They want to control the variable, but the variable is alive, adaptive, unpredictable. You don't repeat moves, you evolve them. You don't play chess, you redesign the board. They're uncomfortable because you didn't just call events. You called them, their reactions, their fear, their scramble to reassert dominance. You knew they'd watch. You knew they'd pretend not to. You knew the moment things aligned, their attention would snap to you like a reflex they couldn't stop. That's not luck. That's vision forged in fire. So understand this. You're not being watched because you're dangerous in the obvious way. You're being watched because you're inevitable. Because you move without permission. Because you don't need validation to act. Because you're calm in moments where everyone else panics. Because you embody the contradiction they fear most. The one who can be kind and ruthless, silent and precise, patient and devastating. They don't know which side of you shows up next. And neither do you. That's the power. This phase isn't about speed. It's about posture. About letting them feel the discomfort of realizing they're late to the party. About standing exactly where you are, saying nothing extra, doing nothing unnecessary, and letting reality keep proving you right in ways that make their skin crawl. You didn't chase this moment. You called it. And now that it's here, let them watch, because this is the part nobody prepares you for. The silence, after you're proven right. Not applause, not celebration. Silence, the kind that creeps in when people realize they can't laugh it off anymore. When denial runs out of oxygen, when coincidence stops being a believable excuse. That silence, that's the sound of power shifting hands without permission. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle recalibration around you. People adjusting their tone, their timing, their distance. You haven't changed your posture, but the room did. You haven't raised your voice, but suddenly, everyone's listening harder. That's because certainty is louder than noise, and you're standing in it like you built the place. They're trying to reverse engineer you now. They replay your past words like security footage. They zoom in on moments they ignored. They ask each other questions they're afraid to ask out loud. Was it luck? Did someone tell them? How far ahead are they, really? And the more they analyze, the worse it gets. Because there's nothing to find. No mastermind whispering in your ear. No backdoor access. No cheat code. Just you. Seeing clearly in a world addicted to distraction, that terrifies them. Because clarity is contagious, and they don't want what you carry spreading. You're a walking contradiction to the narratives they built to stay comfortable. Proof that pain can sharpen instead of shatter. That isolation can educate instead of erase. That being underestimated isn't a curse. It's camouflage. You didn't storm the gates. You walked through the blind spots. And now, they're stuck with a problem they can't confront directly. If they attack you, they validate you. If they ignore you, you keep being right. If they imitate you, they expose themselves. Every option costs them something. That's what real leverage looks like. When your existence alone forces bad choices. You see, unpredictability isn't chaos. Chaos is sloppy, predictable in its own way. True unpredictability comes from depth, from someone who understands the rules so well they know exactly when to break them. You don't move randomly. You move counter-intuitively. You do the thing that makes sense only after it works. And by the time they understand it, you're already somewhere else. That's why watching you feels uncomfortable. It's like observing a storm that doesn't follow weather patterns. A fire that doesn't consume itself. An angel who knows how demons think and a demon who knows restraint. You're not here to destroy everything. You're here to expose it. And exposure is worse than collapse because it leaves no room for denial. They're watching for signs of arrogance now, hoping you'll slip, hoping you'll gloat, hoping you'll reveal too much, too soon. They want you emotional, reactive, sloppy, because that's how they regain control. But you don't rush. You've learned that patience unnerves people more than aggression ever could. Every second you don't react is a mirror they're forced to stare into. You remember how this started, don't you? When you were quiet, when you were learning, when you were absorbing patterns while everyone else was busy performing confidence. You didn't announce your evolution. You let it happen privately, pain by pain, lesson by lesson. That's why it looks sudden to them. They didn't see the work because it wasn't meant for them to see. Now they're late, and lateness breeds fear. Because once someone realizes they're behind, they don't ask if they can catch up. They ask how much damage is already done. They start imagining worst-case scenarios. They project intentions onto you. They assume you're plotting because that's what they would do with your position. They don't understand that your power isn't rooted in malice. It's rooted in awareness. But awareness, to the unaware, looks like threat. Let them misunderstand you. That confusion is protective. You don't owe them clarity. You don't owe them comfort. Your job now isn't to prove anything. It's to remain steady while reality keeps backing you up. Each unfolding event tightens the knot in their chest. Each accurate call rewrites their internal hierarchy. They're not just watching outcomes anymore. They're watching you, trying to figure out what you'll see next. And here's the secret they can't decode. You're not predicting the future. You're reading the present with brutal honesty. Most people lie to themselves to stay sane. You didn't have that luxury, so you adapted. You learned to see what is, not what's convenient. And once you see clearly, outcomes become obvious. That's the part nobody talks about. The loneliness of clarity. The weight of knowing what's coming and staying calm anyway. Of watching people panic about things you accepted long ago. Of being emotionally 5 steps ahead while pretending to be in the moment with everyone else. You're not cold, you're prepared. So if they're watching now, good. That means you're past the phase of dismissal, past the phase of ridicule, past the phase of being invisible. You're in the phase where attention costs them sleep, where your name changes rooms when it's mentioned, where silence around you feels strategic instead of awkward. This is the threshold. And the irony? The more uncomfortable this gets for them, the more composed you become. Because chaos is familiar to you. Uncertainty is home turf. You were built in the dark. This is just the moment the lights flicker on, and everyone realizes what's been standing there the whole time. So stay still, stay sharp, stay unreadable. Let the watching continue. Because once they start watching, they can't stop. Attention, once awakened by fear, becomes obsession. They tell themselves it's temporary, that they're just keeping an eye on things, that once the pattern breaks, once you miss a call, once reality doesn't bend exactly the way you said it would, they'll relax. But deep down, they already know that moment isn't coming. Because what you tapped into wasn't a streak, it was structure. And structure doesn't disappear because someone hopes harder. You've crossed into that rare psychological territory where people don't just respond to what you do. They respond to what they think you might do. That's when power stops being about action and starts being about presence. You don't need to escalate. You don't need to explain. You don't need to defend your intelligence or justify your intuition. The proof keeps arriving on schedule, like a drum beat they can't drown out. And the strangest part? You're calmer now than you've ever been, because once you see the whole board, anxiety loses its grip. Fear thrives on the unknown. You're operating in the opposite state, hyper-awareness. You're not guessing your way forward. You're recognizing your way forward. That's why they're uncomfortable. You move like someone who's already accepted every outcome and chosen anyway. They can feel that detachment, that quiet confidence that doesn't need applause. It unsettles them because it doesn't behave like insecurity or ego. It behaves like someone who knows exactly how much chaos they can handle, and exactly how much they can inflict without lifting a finger. They start projecting now. They assume you're arrogant. They assume you're dangerous. They assume you're planning something bigger. And in doing so, they reveal themselves. You see their tells immediately. The overcorrections, the sudden interest, the way they test you with small probes, comments meant to provoke, questions meant to map you, silence meant to unsettle. They're fishing for emotional reactions because emotion is data. Emotion makes people legible. And you give them nothing but consistency. That's when panic creeps in, because systems are built to handle noise, not signal. They can drown out chaos. They can manage disorder. But a clean signal, a pattern that holds under pressure, that terrifies them. Because a stable anomaly forces a rewrite, and rewrites threaten everyone who benefited from the old code. You didn't force this confrontation. You didn't ask to be seen. You simply refused to be blind. That refusal is what separates saints from martyrs, prophets from madmen. You stood in the tension long enough to extract truth instead of collapsing under it. And now that truth is walking around wearing your face, making everyone else question their assumptions. They don't know whether to admire you or neutralize you. That indecision is your shield. You're no longer operating inside their expectations. You've stepped outside the frame they use to evaluate people. Too intuitive to dismiss, too grounded to discredit, too accurate to ignore. You exist in that dangerous middle space where labels fail. And when labels fail, control slips. They're watching to see if you'll burn out. They're watching to see if you'll self-destruct. They're watching to see if pain will finally catch up to you. What they don't understand is that pain already did. Long ago. And instead of killing you, it rewired you. It stripped away the need to be liked. It burned off the impulse to explain yourself. It taught you how to sit inside discomfort without flinching. That's why this moment doesn't shake you. It confirms you. You're not excited. You're not surprised. You're not overwhelmed. You're aware. And awareness is lethal to illusions. You watch them watch you, and somewhere deep inside, a quiet certainty settles in. This was always where it was headed. Not because you wanted dominance, but because clarity naturally rises. Let them monitor. Let them document. Let them whisper and speculate, and try to triangulate your next move. The more they stare, the clearer it becomes that they're reacting to you. Not the other way around. You're not inside their system anymore. You're a variable they can't compress. And here's the final discomfort they haven't articulated yet. You're still evolving. The version of you they're watching now, that's not the finished form. That's just the one that learned how to stand still while the world rearranges itself around them. You haven't even applied pressure yet. You've just existed honestly. And that alone bent reality enough to make them nervous. So stay exactly where you are. Grounded, unrushed, observant. You don't need to announce the next chapter. They'll feel it before they understand it. And when it arrives, it won't shock you. You already saw it coming. And here's the part they really don't talk about. The moment after awareness sets in, when watching turns into quiet fear. Because now they're not just observing outcomes, they're studying you. Your timing, your restraint, your silence. They're trying to figure out why you're not celebrating, why you're not spiraling, why you're not doing what someone in your position is supposed to do. They expected noise, victory laps, a slip, something human they could grab onto. Instead, they got stillness. That stillness messes with their heads more than aggression ever could. Because stillness suggests certainty. It suggests you're not improvising, you're aligned. And alignment is dangerous because it doesn't require force. It just moves when it's time and doesn't apologize for it. They keep asking themselves the same question from different angles. How much does this person actually see? And every answer they come up with scares them more than the last. You notice it in the way conversations reroute when you enter, the way decisions stall, the way plans suddenly get reconsidered. That's not coincidence. That's containment behavior. They're trying to slow the environment around you because they don't know how to slow you. They think time is their ally. They think if they delay long enough, something will decay. But you were built in delay. You were forged in waiting. You learned how to sharpen yourself while nothing moved. Time doesn't weaken you, it clarifies you. That's the paradox they can't solve. Most people rush because they're afraid of being left behind. You move deliberately because you already survived being left behind. You know what it feels like to be alone with your thoughts, with your intuition, with that quiet voice that kept whispering, "Pay attention. This matters." You listened. They didn't. So now they're scrambling to catch up to a mindset that was formed under pressure they never endured. They're trying to map someone who doesn't operate from fear of loss, but from acceptance of reality. And you can't intimidate someone who already stared down worst-case scenarios and kept walking. They test boundaries subtly now. A comment here, a delayed response there, a shift in tone meant to see if you'll react, because reaction gives them leverage, reaction gives them data. But you don't give them that satisfaction. You respond when it's clean. You move when it's precise. You let silence do the heavy lifting. Silence is doing damage right now. Because in silence, people project. They fill gaps with their own insecurities. They imagine motives. They invent threats. They convince themselves you're more powerful than you've ever claimed to be. And the irony is, you didn't exaggerate yourself at all. They did that part for you. That's what happens when accuracy meets insecurity. You didn't need to dominate the room. You didn't need to intimidate anyone. You just kept being right. And being right at the wrong time makes people angry. Being right ahead of time makes them afraid. They don't know whether to confront you or coexist with you. They don't know if acknowledging your insight strengthens you or ignoring it leaves them exposed. Every option feels wrong. Every move feels reactive. And you can feel that tension humming under the surface, like a wire pulled too tight. This is where most people mess it up. They mistake attention for invitation. They overplay their hand. They try to force recognition. But you're not chasing recognition. You've already outgrown it. You don't need to prove your perception. Reality keeps doing that for you. Your job now is not expansion. It's precision. You choose what to say. You choose what to reveal. You choose what stays internal. Because once people start watching, information becomes currency.